Hi everybody, we at the Wellbeing Department are just trying to do one more video this week to help you stay motivated. We know it's going to be a difficult time for you coming up to the midterm with the holidays in sight, but we're going to start off today by looking at a video from Martin Luther King where he speaks to a bunch of high school students, explaining to them the importance of purpose and trying to do their best no matter what task it is. So, hope you enjoy it.
Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. You must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. And once you discover what it will be, set out to do it. And to do it well.
So following on from that video, I want to look at the difference between performance and outcome today. And I'm also going to talk to you about process goals because I think they're a great way of helping you stay motivated. So in school, we always focus on the outcome. For example, we always look at the result, the exam result. But what we forget is about the whole process of learning and doing. And what process goals are is about setting milestones that you yourself can completely control. So, for example, if you were climbing a mountain, you wouldn't assume straight away that you go to the top. Instead, what you would do is that you'd set certain stages or points along the way that you would try to meet. And that's what a process goal is. Process goals talk about long-term changes and developments. They don't want you to change things immediately overnight because I think we all know that that's not sustainable. So what process goals are about is by introducing as a habit each week setting a goal for yourself. And we talked about a routine and the importance of that in staying motivated. Process goals look at improvement as a journey. And I know that's the typical X Factor or Britain's Got Talent term. But what you're trying to do there is that you're plotting different points along the way to get to your final destination. And the idea of a process goal is that you're always growing and you're always trying to make little bits of success in your life to motivate you further. So, for example, what we should be trying to do at the moment is to set one weekly goal for ourselves, a different one each week. So we've all had those experiences where we set a New Year's resolution for ourselves last month. You know, some of those weren't very smart because, first of all, they weren't very specific. So you might say, I'm going to get fit, but maybe you should have said, I'm going to try and run an extra mile every month because that's more measurable, that's more achievable, and it's more realistic. And of course, it's timely because at the start you mightn't be very fit, but by the third month, you would be a lot fitter and you might be able to improve more. So one way of incorporating process goals to school or online learning is to try and use the Kaizen method. Now this has been designed by Toyota, the car manufacturing firm, and what it focuses is on the principle of continual improvement. So you can see there the breakdown of the word Kai meaning change, Zen meaning good, and it means changing things for the better. So the aim here is to improve incrementally. And what that means is that you try and improve bit by bit. You don't try to make big changes into your lifestyle or into your habits because what you're doing there is you're setting yourself up for failure. So as you can see with this graph here, you're not trying to reach to the stars all the time. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make these small little improvements every day. Every once in a while, those improvements may not work. But what you're doing there is you're trying not to lose too much ground before you reach your destination. So The idea about this as well is that there's self-evaluation, and that's very important when you're trying to motivate yourself, because every action or thing you do leads to a review and a reflection with the Kaizen method. So I'll explain that, with the aid of this kind of diagram here. So I encouraged you to plan your routine to help you get through Google Classroom, to help you complete your assignments. So what you would do is, maybe today you would plan your routine, then what you would do is you go away and do it. You check then at intermittent points during the day, different times, to see what's working well and what isn't, and then you'd make an action the next day based on that. So for example, if I was checking my breaks and I realized that I wasn't taking my breaks at the right time, maybe I was spending too much time doing work and then became tired, hungry, and started to lose focus, then the next day what I would do is that I would act on that and I would have my break earlier. As well, I'd be checking the amount of times it takes me to complete an assignment, and if I'm spending too much time on a particular subject, what I would be doing the next day is that I would be trying to set myself a target for that, so that I don't, spend too much time doing something that I find really difficult without checking in with my teacher, and I'm neglecting the other subjects. I suppose it's the same principle as how to eat an elephant. You're not trying to make radical changes every Monday and setting yourself up for failure. What you're trying to do is to make small little improvements that are easy to measure, easy to manage, and easy to control. And I suppose the analogy that I would use here is like the long distance runner. You wouldn't start off running and trying to complete a marathon in your first attempt. What the long distance runner would do is that he would build up his resilience, build up his fitness, and try and build up the amount of miles that they do every week or every month over, a long period of time. I suppose it's the opposite way of a sprinter, but what a sprinter would do is that the sprinter has no problem in reaching his target or his goal of covering 100 meters. But what he does then is, in the reverse, they try to reduce the amount of time it takes them to run that distance. So, there's very small gains to be made there. So if the sprinter reduces his time by a second or two, he's delighted, because that means that they're getting closer and closer all the time to getting faster and faster. And when we look at success, that's something that we forget about. We only see the tip of the iceberg, the person that's winning all the time. We don't see the dedication, the hard work, the good habits that are there. And that's what process goals are all about, is having good habits. We don't see the disappointment when we don't reach our goals, or the sacrifices that people make, or the failures they encounter, or the persistence that they need to achieve them. So I hope that's after giving you just another bit of a tactic to help improve your motivation over the coming week. And I just want to show you a quick video there from Paul O'Connell, which kind of sums up what I'm trying to say, hopefully a lot better than the way I'm doing it at the moment. So enjoy, guys. Best of luck with the week ahead. Hope you have a great midterm, and we'll be talking to you soon.
And that's when Joe Schmidt came up with what I would call mindfulness for dumb rugby players. And he used to talk about winning the moment in front of your face. Win the moment in front of your face. You'd actually hear it with Joe Schmidt as your coach. You'd actually hear it 20 times a week. Forget about the score. Forget about the knock-on you just made. Forget about the penalty you gave away. Just win the moment in front of your face. And I suppose, what is the best possible thing I can do right now? If you can train yourself to think like that when you're at the top of the tree or when the world is falling down around you, I think it's one of the best tools for leadership there is, and one of the best tools for high performance there is. And for us, it mainly applied to the rugby pitch. So if you go to any of Ireland's games in the Six Nations, you get a ref mic, listen to the Irish players when they concede a try, or when they score a try, or they give away a penalty, or they knock a ball on and it's a scrum. You'll hear them shouting at each other, next job, win the next moment. What's the next moment? Let's win the next moment. And